Yeah, I did see this pointing at the thought. To understand these things is to, to look back at where they came from, is to better understand where we're at now and why we've made changes when we've made changes. So I'm taking one, but I'm using it as an excuse to kind of give us a whirlwind tour of our homes, the things that make up our homes, in an interesting way, so that you can understand better what your options are for remodeling your home today, right here in 2023 in the 21st century, and why those options are there as opposed to the way it used to be. So let's get started. We're going to dive right in as soon as we return. But right now, Brian Barone has the news. A person was shot in the head BB gun in the sixth attack since mid-December in the Westlake District of LA. The Directors Guild of America Awards is happening tonight, and he usually predicts who's going to win Best Director at the Oscars. Tiger Woods has qualified for the Genesis Invitational at the Riviera Country Club with 0 room to spare. We're going to have a look at some trouble on the 101 next. If you're like me, you're not thinking about your water heater at all right now, right? Well, now you are. I just mentioned it, but you weren't, unless, of course, this morning you woke up and found that it stopped heating water. If that's you, you need to call Water Heaters Only. Water Heaters Only has been getting that job done right since 1968. They specialize in water heater replacements, tankless water heater installs, and money-saving recirculation pumps that now fit into any home and mean hot water right away with lower water bills at the same time. When was the last time you got added luxury for less money, right? These pumps are great. So whether you need a new water heater or you want to add a money-saving recirc pump, Water Heaters Only are the only ones you need to call because they are honest, they are reliable, they have same-day service, quality products, and the lowest prices around. Right now, you could get, for instance, 0% deferred interest financing on a new water heater. So call the company that does Water Heaters Only. Visit waterheatersonly.com. Get a new water heater with 0 interest. Terms and conditions apply. That's waterheatersonly.com. Waterheatersonly.com. Taking a look at KFI traffic, we've got a crash on the 101 in Sherman Oaks. And this is going to be the stretch here northbound, right at Van Nuys Boulevard, and very heavy this early. It's going to be the 3 right lanes taken away. Stop and go traffic from Woodman. Now, through Norwalk, crash on 605, southbound side at Rosecrans Avenue. It's going to be a little heavy there as you approach. Also, right now, as you head through Moreno Valley, the 215 is going to be a little slow southbound. Right on Alessandro had an earlier problem. That's cleared out, but still heavy. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Mark Wheeler.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. Want to be 100% certain about your taxes? Jackson Hewitt backs your return for life. Switch today and get 50% off tax prep. 50% off is a limited time offer for new clients filing a participating location. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Take more control of the value of your savings and retirement account, and you should. Diversify into gold with Birch Gold. I have. For years now, the value of gold has withstood inflation, geopolitical turmoil, stock market crashes. You can own gold and silver in a tax-sheltered retirement account. Birch Gold makes it easy to convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in precious metals. So here's what you do. Text the name HANDLE to 989-898 and get a free info kit on gold. Birch Gold has 20 years experience helping people with their retirement plans. Protect yourself with gold by texting HANDLE, HANDEL, to the number 989-898. Birch Gold has an A+ rating with a Better Business Bureau, thousands of happy customers, and countless 5-star reviews. So contact Birch Gold, of course, 0 obligation. Text HANDLE to 989-898. That's HANDLE to 989-898. Our mission at Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, is to fight to get you more. So far, we've recovered more than $15 billion in compensation for our clients. Injured? You deserve more. More lawyers, more offices, and more support staff nationwide than any other injury law firm.
Hey, in person, who's going to help you?
Just dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Fans of the hit TV show Scandal can now revisit every episode on Unpacking the Toolbox with Scandal Rewatch podcast, hosted by the cast members behind Quinn Perkins and Huck. So, gladiators, grab some Gettysburger and relive
pancreolipase, and an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you're allergic to pork or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints, call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, and this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
You want to sell your home, call Seller's Advantage. Everyone has different reasons for selling. Some people want to downsize and move. Some have inherited a property they want to get rid of. Or maybe it's time for a change. Whatever your reason for selling, Seller's Advantage has a custom solution for your needs. They'll make a competitive cash offer with no repairs needed, and they can close in days. No complicated closing process or contracts falling through. Seller's Advantage, 888-302-AS-IS, 888-302-AS-IS, and sellersadvantage.com. Seller's Advantage will buy your home, make it easy so that you don't have to worry. Sell happy with Seller's Advantage. DRE number 01961658.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number? Nope. Oh no, he's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save 5% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
For official rules and more information about contests on this station, go to KFIAM640.com/rules. Rich DeNiro here, Rich on Tech. You've heard about the impact artificial intelligence is having on search, but it's also changing the art world. There are dozens of websites that can generate images instantly using artificial intelligence. All you have to do is type in a few keywords. As you can imagine, not every artist is happy about it. Rich on Tech with Rich DeNiro this morning at 11 on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. KFI. Deep Dark, the house was where you are home. Where every week we help you better understand that place where you live. Good Saturday morning to you. The sky is starting to lighten here in sunny Southern California. Well, it's not sunny yet, but I think it's going to be sunny today. Out here where we are. But cool. One of my favorite times of day. Good day to get out in the yard, get some stuff done. We've got a whole list for us. We're clearing out the back 40, aren't we? It's going to be one of those. Yeah. Another design project. Making room for a new and improved hen house. That's what we're starting today. And then our roofing list. I'm not going to get into that. We'll talk about that later as we progress into it. Hey, I also want to hear what's going on with your home today. In just a bit, we'll be going to the phone. The phone lines are open now, so now please do it. Jump into the queue. The number to reach me is 833-2-ASK. There's a room on the line. That would be a great chance. And you know, you are selected at random, so you know, you've got to get a chance to get them selected to the program, figure out, put your head together with mine, and figure out what's going on with your home. All right, let's dive into this topic that they don't build them like they do. So let me say right at the outset, like I was saying before the break, for me, this phrase should go both ways. It means, in fact, that as far as a lot of integrity and craftsmanship in terms of the builders themselves, I wish we built like because there was a lot more time, a lot more patience, a lot more craft put into building homes back in the good old days where everything goes on. And
me when I say good old days from a professional perspective. I'm really talking about before the onslaught of the building after World War II. So that would be, pre-World War II was the golden era of suburban kind of custom homes, or just, I didn't even say custom, I just say constant home construction, because, you could order a home plan and a whole kit years past put together different than the produced track homes that came after World War II. Anyway, when you eat, it's very means both things. There are definitely things about the good old days that I wish would come back. By and large, though, I gotta say, how home building has changed since the good old days, that is equally as good when it comes to engineering, materials, and so on. So, let's dive in. Let's give you an example. Engineering. From foundation to the load that walls carry. Back in the good old days, prior to World War II, you lived in a century home, meaning a home that's approaching or around about 100 years old. Which is not hard to find, even in Los Angeles these days. Then very likely that home is sitting on a very minimalistic foundation by today's standards. Even if it happens to be made of concrete, it doesn't have much reinforcement. When we redid the historic camp house over in Sierra Madre, there's green home out there. There's so many things for our special live show last year. That home literally sitting on river rock, solid river rock mortared together like you would a garden wall. That was the foundation initially of that home before it was reinforced. So from rock and just brick to reinforced foundations of today. I'm going to tell you, there's the foundation walls of your home. Do that however you want, whatever veneer you choose to put on it. But reinforced concrete of today, especially in zones like Southern California, earthquake-sensitive Southern California, we have never, ever built foundations as well as deeply as done. And I'm not going to say overkill. Every well-engineered thing is over-engineered. We know that. When something is over-engineered, or when something is engineered, it is appropriately over-engineered. You don't just say, well, there could be this level of stress put on it, and then you design it to just make it over the threshold of that level of stress. No, you go beyond. You go above and beyond. And why have to do so much digging and pour so much concrete to get it right? Because we want this thing to last. That's essentially what it comes down to. So engineering has come a long way. The other aspect of engineering that we talked about, I think when we come back, is even more significant to the homeowner, because this is something that you come into contact with on a regular basis, and that is how your walls are together. I have seen the change just in my short little life of when I started out framing in the late 1980s and early 1990s to see how many what we call shear walls added to our homes. Now, if you don't know what a shear wall is, then don't go anywhere. This is one of the most important things for a homeowner to understand about the way their house is built. We will go there and continue when we return. Your home. You start the house with for Brian Verena as the news. Well, 5 former Memphis police officers charged in the death of Ivy Nichols this week is not guilty.
We are praying for our family. God is what's holding us up.
Nichols' mother, Ravon Wells, was in court for the next hearing of September May 1st. Nichols died 3 days after a confrontation with police during a traffic stop. He was severely injured. The California DOJ will be reviewing criminal convictions to make sure people have not been wrongfully convicted. DG Rob Bonta says the post-conviction justice unit has been created so the state can do what's right.
It is incumbent on prosecutors to make good faith efforts to correct injustice.
These are taking steps to support the integrity of prosecutors is a critical part of pursuing justice. We just have to should be uncovered that could change everything. LA says the program aims at relocating the
Clinic and the Miracle Mile has started. Mayor Bass and Councilwoman Katie Yaroslavsky said Thursday the plan would directly help those in chronic need. Yaroslavsky says homeless people living in 6 and Fairfax are our neighbors and they need help.
One man I met there told me he'd been living just across the street at Park the Bay until he lost his housing and ended up living in a tent right across the street from where he'd formerly been housed.
Yaroslavsky says there's also a mental health and addiction issue that cannot be properly addressed when people are living in tents. He says they've been able to move 40 people into motels and will soon move them into permanent housing. And air travel could resume soon at JFK Airport in New York. One of the major international terminals has been impacted by a power outage Thursday night.
39 incoming or outgoing flights were canceled Friday. 25 others were sent to either other terminals or other airports.
ABC's Brian Clark says the terminal handles about 5% of the airport's passenger schedule. The outage was caused by off lines. I think it was the KFI traffic when you shot a crash on the 101 and turned up. And this morning, the three-way lane blocked off on the 101 Ventura Freeway here northbound at Van Nuys Boulevard. Now, it's stop and go from Woodland. It's the heaviest area right now. Avoid if you can. It's going to be about 3-4 minutes as you approach. Now, to the conference stretch, the 91, the Riverside Freeway, east side of Alameda. We've got a crash just reported. And the tire reach along 126 at Center Street. KFI in the sky, I'm sure you're faster. I'm Mark Wheeler. Southland weather from KFI. Partly cloudy skies, low to mid-60s at the beaches, upper 60s below 70 the metro LA and OC, mid-60s below 70s in the Inland Valley, mid-50s below 60s in the Antelope Valley, and mid-60s below 70s in the Inland Empire. Temperatures are cooling down in the week ahead, and the rain from midweek to next weekend. Even local, live from KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Brian Bergman. This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can get almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correct. Get almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open store line has been established for all drivers to call for a first quick quote. Call 800-858-2550 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for coverage repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your first quick quote today. 800-858-2550. That's 800-858-2550. What do you have to lose? Call 800-858-2550. Again, 800-858-2550.
According to Google, to search the internet privately, you just need to turn on your browser's incognito mode. And you really think you can trust big tech with solutions to privacy? Even in incognito mode, your internet service providers are taking every single website you've ever visited. And they can sell that data to advertisers. Which is why you want to use ExpressVPN to keep your online data secure and private. ExpressVPN reroutes your connection to a secure, encrypted server so that your internet service provider can't see your traffic without slowing your internet speed down. Tap one button to protect. ExpressVPN is the fastest, most trusted VPN on the market, rated #1 by Business Insider. Protect your online activity with a VPN that you trust to keep your website private. Visit expressvpn.com/bundle. ExpressVPN.com/bundle. 3 months for your 1-year package. ExpressVPN.com/bundle. Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers to more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Now, pound 250 and say keyword great result. That's pound 250 and say great result.
Stay cool. Securing your tech to yourself and those you care about most. Life Safety Suite, only for Sleep Number. It's our President's Day special. Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base and smart bed. Learn more at sleepnumber.com. AM640.
And I have radio station.
Download the free Radio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. AM640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Your home machine starts the house whisper. Hey, coming up next segment, we'll go to the phone. We want to hear what's going on with your home today. The lines are open now. Nikki and Ricky are standing by to take your call. The number to reach is 833-2-ASK. 833, the number 2 asking 833-2-ASK. All right. All right, guys, back into, they don't build them like engineered the way it's going to be tomorrow. On it, always. We talked about foundations and why it's so important that today's foundations, and let me just throw this in here. If you live in a century home or an older home, if you live in a home that was built in the 1950s, let's just say that 1940s or before, you should definitely, if you have not seismic retrofit that home, the foundation of that home, you should definitely be pushing in that direction. You need to get that stuff. Okay? You may have lucked out, you may have not been the subject or the epicenter or just in the right niche of some of our recent earthquakes, but you do not want your home sliding off its foundation or collapsing under its foundation. Seismically retrofit that home so that it is ready to go. When we say seismic, we're talking about earthquake preparation. And that leads us to something that is such a massive part of home engineering, and that is shear wall. Shear wall. If you don't know what a shear wall is, I'm going to explain it. Very, very simple. Walls have two loads that they have to bear up. Okay, general category. One is the down load. Okay, that is weight simply resting upon the wall, whether it's the weight of the roof, or the weight of the second floor, or what have you. That load, by the way, is divided into two categories: dead load and live load. Dead load simply means that the wall has been engineered strong enough to hold up itself and the weight of the house, just the weight of the house. That's dead load. But of course, like I said in the previous segment, houses are always engineered, and what you have to engineer for when it comes to load values is not the because what's the point of engineering a house just to hold itself up without anything in it? Right. So what happens is we come along and we move in our grand pianos and our beds and our dressers and our people and all of this waste stuff, right? And we put water in the bathtub upstairs, and that suddenly triples the weight of the bathtub. So it is the live load of the house that the engineers also have to take into account when they are engineering the structure. That is assuming that there's going to be so many bodies, so much stuff in that house, and that it has to be able to hold up. So that is simply what we call down load. That is the load pressing down on the strength, the studs, and the wall post, and so on. And for the longest period of time, that's pretty much the only kind of load that was another kind of load, and that's what we call a lap from the side, horizontal load, right? So that could come in a couple of different forms, like I just said. It can come in the form of wind, like storm, okay, like hurricane gale wind, or that lateral load can be generated if the ground starts shaking side to side, not up and down, but side to side. And that produces what we call shear value. Okay? shear wall is a wall that has been specifically built into a home to resist those kinds of forces. And that isn't just your 2x4 walls with the stucco on the outside and the drywall on the inside. In fact, those help very little. A shear wall is a wall that has also been sheathed before it was siding and stucco put on. Sheathed in some form of rigid structural membrane, usually plywood. In the old days, it was plywood. In these days, it's usually CDX, right? Which is our modern day kind of chipboard plywood. And not only is it sheathed in those to stiffen that wall and its loads from side to side, but also those panels, and we call them shear panels because they are engineered units. They extend, if they're a single-story house, all the way to the roof line, and at the edges of an official engineered shear panel. Not a normal stud, but a post, 4x4 post or 6x6 post, depending on the size of the wall. And that post will be anchored not just with regular foundations that typically these days they have half-inch thick bolts occurring every, let's say, 48 inches along the bottom plate of the house, which are very, very important, obviously. But in addition to those, you've got these larger bolts that go deeper into the foundation, and those hook up with hardware on the bottoms of those posts at both ends. You can imagine we've got this extra, and we call them hold downs. These hold downs occur at the ends of each one of these shear panels. And then the wall is cut that way. Now, why do you need to know that? Well, you need to know that somewhere in your home, heading in both directions, perpendicular to each other, there needs to be shear panels going in both directions. And those shear panels are not to be, trifled with. So when we are, for instance, remodeling, one thing to find out is learn this from TV, right? Is it a bearing wall? Is that a structural bearing wall? Oh, yeah, that's really important because we don't just take out bearing walls or things fall on us. But in addition to a bearing wall, you may also have a shear wall. And shear walls have to also be dealt with in that manner. It doesn't mean the amount of lateral resistance that a house has. So all of these things, I didn't need this to be an extended lesson in shear walls for you, but all of these things amount to this. We don't build them like they used to in this regard in terms of our foundation. It's a good thing. The engineering of homes has advanced as it should by leaps and bounds over the last 100 years or so. That is a good thing, not a bad thing. A house, even, and I hesitate to say this because it just grinds against me, even a house that is quote unquote slapped together these days by builders who lack the time and attention to detail and craft. Right? Even houses that are slapped together these days are better engineered and far safer to live inside of than houses that were built with precision craftsmanship 100 years ago. Why? Because of all that we've learned from the engineering side. If the engineer has done their job, even if the contractors and the builders are thinking, as long as they get the primary components put in place, that's a safe house. It's a safe, secure house. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be pretty, and it doesn't mean that you're going to enjoy some of the other sides of poor craftsmanship. But in terms of engineering, safer now than ever before. All right, we will return to this conversation, but when we come back, we're going to the phone. Your home. House with Brian Barrett.
It says any search for airborne objects that have shot down, I should say the remains of airborne objects that shot down near Alaska and over Lake Huron. Sheriff's in Mississippi say a guy took 6 people, including his ex-wife and stepfather, in multiple locations in a small town yesterday. And fellow students who started college in the 60s and 70s died at 84 years old. We're going to take a look at some trouble on the 105 next. All right, the year is well underway. You're excited about making some changes in your home this year. Good for you. When it comes to finding just the right appliances, including hard to find appliances, and, the usual suspects, sinks, faucets, tubs, toilets, etc., etc., you're going to need my secret weapon. What is that?
WBC Kitchen and Bath Center. Nobody has more in stock and hard to find appliances than WBC now. Sure, you can order your appliances wherever, somewhere else if you want. But why when WBC actually has them? Okay? And for those of you who live in SoCal East, by the way, WBC La Quinta showroom is opening very, very soon. Even though this new massive showroom is not open quite yet, the sales team is available. Free consult, inventory pricing, and information any question on lead times for any product. Contact the La Quinta WBC or WBC nearest you. Simply go to WBCappliances.com, WBCappliances.com. When you want the best deal, on the best deal. Ready two for $6. Pay from Dave's Single, spicy chicken sandwich, Kentucky crispy nuts, or a bigger strawberry lemonade. Share anything for just $6. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's. Buy Wendy's food for $6. The best deal in fast food. Take a look now at AFI traffic. These options are late on the 105 and Inwood. Little story is eventually true. It's not an accident and nothing there reported, but it's not that way eventually true. That we do have some very heavy traffic, but it's not reported. It should be on the 101 northbound side, be driven up. But it's full lot of canyon. Back up here at about a half mile, and you're going to find delays there. How about 5 to 6 minutes? Definitely give yourself some time. Let's get northbound 101 cold water canyon.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies. Dell Technologies evidence-based sales technology savings from select and CFPs more powered by both brands of Google Document, plus savings on the Sunday, Jeffrey, call 877-Dell, 877-Dell.
Our iHeartRadio Podcast Awards are back. It's the biggest night of the year for podcast fans. Get ready to celebrate your favorite. Go to iHeart.com/podcast awards. Check out the nominees for Podcast of the Year. Best comedy, crime, news, sports, and more. Tuesday, March 14th. Join us for our 2023 iHeartRadio Podcast Awards. Audible is a proud sponsor of the Audible Audio Pioneer Award. From groundbreaking originals, best-selling audiobooks, and the best and latest in podcasts, you'll find your next obsession at Audible, the home of storytelling. Try Audible free. Sign up at audible.com.
This is it. The part to win the tournament. The championship is yours. When you're battling, you're pulled over your eyes. If you're trying to run your business, poor visibility because you're still relying on spreadsheets and outdated and software, to see the full picture, you need to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle. Change visibility across your financials, inventory, HR planning, budgeting, more. With NetSuite, you can automate your processing and close your books in no time, staying well ahead of your competition. 93% of survey businesses increase their visibility control after upgrading to NetSuite. Over 32,000 businesses already use NetSuite. For the year, NetSuite has a new financing program for those ready to upgrade. NetSuite.com/10. Head to NetSuite.com/10 right now for the special one-of-a-kind financing offer on the #1 financial system for growing businesses. That's NetSuite.com/10. 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 Seriously, my dealership shop is the
We all know how easy it can be to go for transmission repair. Made up of over 800 pieces, the transmission is the most complex part of your car. So bring it to the transmission experts at AMCO. AMCO, always the right fix. AA, MCO. Special financing available. Restrictions, limitations, and exclusions may apply to AMCO.com for details. The True Crime Podcast, Paper Ghost, is back with a brand new case. Season 3 takes deep into the 1992 cold case murder of Tammy Jo Delaney, a New Jersey college student, and uncovers a murky police investigation, a pool of new suspects, and the community still desperate for answers 30 years later.
Tammy's supposed to be on campus, and she's not here, and people are starting to get worried.
Listen to Paper Ghost on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
This President's Day weekend, head to Fairmont Century Plaza in Century City, where this iconic hotel transforms its facade into a vertical dance floor. Watches aerial performers from Vanderloop dance across the front of the hotel to music. Visit FairmontCenturyPlaza.com for tickets.
Just in years, maybe a lifetime to build trust. Once one, it's a precious start. Community partnership. We're honored to have earned your trust.
He takes the longest time to say zero. But
radio stations you love. Every playlist to match your mood. The podcast that everyone's talking about. If it's on the iHeartRadio app, it's free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Sometimes life seems like it's filled only with confusion. But I assure you, I have a plan for you. This Christ Show. Tomorrow morning at 6 on KFI AM 640.
Your stimulating talk.
KFI. East of the house was for welcome home. Today and tomorrow, this episode and the next, if you are listening on demand to podcast, we are, our team is, they don't build them like they used to, both good and bad, for good and bad reasons. So we'll kind of take a whirlwind tour of your home, understanding how the systems have evolved and what's available to you today. Always useful, definitely interesting, but always ultimately the point is useful for you. But right now, it is time for us to go to the phone. I want to talk to Ro. Hey, Ro, welcome home.
Good morning. I want to put in radiant floor, and I have a lot of square footage to cover with it. Can I, mostly wood flooring? I'm really mad that I didn't do it in my bathroom already, especially with the type of gas now. It's something that we can't control. I want to go with things that I can control. I'm wondering if it's possible to, like under a wood floor, if I put it in some areas, can I just do underlayment in the other area to make it level? And then the other question would be, how difficult is it to wire it up to down there for it to
I got you. So are you planning on doing this yourself, like DIY it yourself, or you're just talking about getting somebody in there to get it done?
somebody to get it done, but I don't want to ask them to do things that can't get done.
Right. No, it's totally understandable. All right, so when it comes to radiant flooring retrofit, the least expensive way, by the way, to do radiant flooring with new construction would be to use a hydronic system. That is one that has tubes and fluid in it. It costs a little bit more upfront, but then the operating cost is so low, and they're just forever systems, and they're great. But we do that in new construction because it enables us to accommodate for all the floor levels so that they match up and float out just right from room to room and so on and so forth. When it comes to retrofitting, remodeling, and wanting to put in radiant floors, and you said that you missed the boat, you don't want to tear up the bathroom floors and redo those right now. So that means if we're going to put it under the new wood floors, we want to keep that as low profile as possible. So I would recommend then that you would use an electric system, meaning electric radiant coils, because those mats that can be rolled out are really, really low profile. We're only talking about an eighth of an inch, essentially, of rise of the floor. And so, but of course, you got to double check this against whatever system you decide to purchase. Okay, so, but on average, it's about an eighth of an inch. And that, an eighth of an inch, is not something that you really worry about, that I usually worry about in terms of like trying to get up to floor levels. The kind of thing, even a threshold transition piece at a doorway can make that. And this is coming from a guy who hates floor level transition. But an eighth of an inch is so minor, you could do that without having to worry about being underlaying under everything else, so on and so forth. So as far as the system itself goes, and that gets to the heart of your question, one of the issues is that there are a lot of different products out there that work mostly the same way, but some in different ways. So what you're going to want to do at the beginning is start to research the product that you want to use, and check the references and check the reviews and so on. But essentially, these are rollout maps with coils on them. And the big question as far as are they difficult to wire into place, or are they difficult to provide power for? No, they're really not. The better systems kind of work like Christmas lights in the sense that you can connect multiple maps together in a line with each other. You don't have to run individual power each of the maps. If you link them together across the floor, and therefore there's one power source coming into it, and then you can have a thermostat and a control switch somewhere in the room that helps control the power flow. So usually there's one power supply, not difficult for an electrician to do, and one switch control with a thermostat on the wall. That's pretty difficult. How many maps can be linked together is entirely manufacturer dependent when it comes to those things, and how easy it is to put them together. Now, some companies will ask you, hey, just send us a floor plan of the room in question, and we'll help you design the map so that they're all linked together, and they'll come with like a puzzle instruction list of how to put them together so that you just use anything under all of the floors. Other companies are just like this. Listen, here's our map. Some companies are like, here's the map, and you can cut it at specific points, and then you kind of scape it around. But really kind of contouring with the room, that's the part that most people find more difficult. And I normally recommend that they go with a company who will, once you send them a floor plan of the rooms that you want to do, they'll do the layout for you, and they'll send you a kit basically ready to roll. You're going to pay a little bit more for that, but it's well worth it in the end as far as using. And then you simply show that to an electrician and say, here's the kit that we're getting, here are the specifications, and the electrician can get it in place and wired up for you, and you can lay those underneath the wood floor. Radiant flooring, you kind of jumped the gun on me, Will. I'm gonna reserve comment on that because we're going to talk about that this weekend as well, because it's one of those things that has come from old school all the way through the 21st century, and now we're returning back to the glories of the radiant heat. I'll talk about that a little bit more later. Will, thank you for your call. I hope that's too. On that, new radiant flooring. Bravo for you for doing it, because it's my favorite time of using it. If I could choose the king of all houses, I would say every house is radiant heat coming out the floor. I'll talk about that a little bit more later in the program. All right, y'all. You're home. Did you start the house whisperer on Facebook? Untangling the mess.
KFI,
KOSC HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere. College labor relations. Brian Berman live in the Day 524-hour newsroom. Graduate student workers at the University of Southern California have voted to unionize. The United Auto Workers Union announced yesterday that grad student workers at USC voted overwhelmingly to unionize and balloting this week. The graduate student workers organized by a union. Investigators are looking for a family member connected with a triple murder in Montana. The San Bernardino County Sheriff said 29-year-old Renteria tied to the three adults who were found captive in their home late last month. Court records show a guy with the same name, age, and location has a criminal record with weapons felonies that include discharging a firearm with gross negligence and shooting at an inhabited dwelling. Renteria also appears to have lived at the house. A gun was found in the neighbor's yard but has not been confirmed as the murder weapon. The Ramirez family says in the GoFundMe post they're devastated by the great loss. For Ben Carson, KFI News. The activist says Santa Monica stole property from a black man with the same trick Manhattan Beach used to steal Bruce's Beach. Devon Ward says Silas White bought the property in the 50s to create an evidence club for black people.
The whole reason for them taking it was because it was bought by a black person, and it was banned to have more black people enjoying this facility. So it had everything to do with racism.
Ward says the city used eminent domain to take the property for a public parking lot that was never built.
Sam Monte has not responded to a request for comment. LAPD Moore could be getting closer to getting the 15 fired as officers. City Council members McOsker and Soto Martinez introduced a motion that would eliminate the current all-Canadian Board of Rights panel in favor of a new system that could include activists in Jersey. The motion was presented yesterday but also removed some of the hurdles that have prevented Chief Moore from taking swift action against officers who violate policy, especially in use of force cases. McOsker and Soto Martinez say the model we use now typically favors officers, even those who Chief Moore wanted to fire. The motion various committees for discussion. The record qualifying news. Vice President Harris says the suspected Chinese spy balloon has hurt the relationship between China and the U.S.
Poorly, and certainly that balloon was not helpful, which is why we shot it down.
She says the U.S. is confident in its decision to shoot down the balloon and says officials are sure it was a spy balloon from China. Rodriguez says it'll fix the cat if the cows and the pigs get gone. Before the ethical treatment of animals says he'll pay to take the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, but only if it's turned into a vegan hot dog mobile. At times, which owns Oscar Mayer, reported the theft of the Wienermobile's catalytic converter while it was in Vegas last week. He isn't in Vegas last week. He isn't the letters and he didn't pay to replace the cat converter. And a year at maintenance, the Wienermobile became a not dog mobile or something similar, since the company's apparently working on a vegan dog. The letter said in part, we hope you'll relish the opportunity to catch up with the kind of vegan dog. Kraft Heinz has responded to the offer. Michael Brozer, KFI News. More than 25,000 cases of Starbucks cappuccino glass bottles have been recalled. The FDA says the drinks shipped around the country. PepsiCo, which sells the drink, says the impacted product has best by dates of March 8th, May 29th, June 4th, and June 10th. FDA says it's because they're cheap for glass and not bottles. Taking a look now at AFI traffic, we have got some delays on the. Taking a look at the road now.
Following through Sherman Oaks, the northbound side of Van Nuys Boulevard, the freeway lanes are taken away here. Stop and go from Woodman Avenue. It's going to be very close here. Folks definitely trying to avoid that if you can. To Compton on the 91 Riverside Freeway, eastbound at Alameda Street. Finish off to the right here. Now, there's a ways they can head through. That's the good news. This was going really well. Way up high in the sky, helps push you there faster. I want either. All right, let's talk about Light Source, the water treatment system that is your home's water solution. Fluorinated, the swimming pool, the for bathing, it's no secret things that chlorine to your water for good reasons. But once that water gets to your home, you don't want it in your body or drying out your skin and your hair. The Light Source system eliminates the smell, drying effects of chlorine, but also retains the healthy ones that your body needs. Light Source removes the bad stuff and makes the good bottom line 24/7 at every tap and faucet and shower in your home. The water will taste great. The water in your home does not need to make you feel like bathing in a swimming pool. Get it changed. Call Light Source today at 800-803-2696, 800-803-2696, or visit lightsourcewater.com. Light Source, take your position. Five public college skies, go to the beaches, upper 60s to low 70s in Metro LA and the mid 60s to low 70s in Inland Valley, mid 50s to low 60s in the Antelope Valley, mid 60s to low 70s in the Inland Empire. Temperatures are going to cool down in the western weekend, and there is a chance of rain in the middle of the week next weekend. Right now it's 46 degrees in Irvine, 44 in Fountain Valley, 48 in Culver City, and 49 in Inglewood. TV Local, live from KFI, 24-hour newsroom. I'm back through. Live everywhere from AM 640 to the iHeartRadio app. Welcome to home, where every week we help you better understand that place where you live. I am Dean Sharp, the house whisperer, here with you live like I am every weekend. Saturday mornings from 6 to 8 Pacific time. Sunday mornings 9 to noon Pacific time. Hey, whether you are listening to our local broadcast right here in Southern California, or whether you're streaming us live right now from across the country, or if you joined in for another episode of the House Whisperer On Demand podcast, I am so glad that you are here. We are talking this weekend, both today and tomorrow's episode, on houses. They don't make them like they used to. We'll get back to that in just a bit, but right now, we're taking calls. So, let's get back to the phone. Talk to Jeff. Hey, Jeff, welcome home.
Good morning, Dean. I have an island in my kitchen with a natural stone countertop, which I believe to be marble. And I find that acidic fruits like lemon are causing infection in there.
No. I mean, you could put anything on top of it that you want, but if you're asking if there's a instant decorative thing that will make the marble look great while at the same time protecting it from, lemon juice and testing and some acids and things like that. Crazy, no, it would be the equivalent. I can come up with 10 suggestions, but it's the equivalent of putting like plastic slip covers on your living room sofa. You're like, oh, yeah, that's the cat hair off, but also keeps the humans off. So, the point is, marble is a top one kitchen. It really is. And so the recommendation that I have is twofold. Number one is that a marble especially of all the stones that you can put in the kitchen. I know it's gorgeous. It's the most vulnerable of all the natural stones to put in the kitchen work area. Red wine stains it. Acids like lemon juice, will etch it. It's just vulnerable. So number one, you've got to keep the sealer on that marble. The more it's polished and the more the sealer is maintained, the less those things will have a chance to sink in. Nothing though is going to stop it from getting hit by that if glass of wine gets spilled and nobody notices for a little while, or the lemon juice is out there and it doesn't really have it, it doesn't get cleaned up right away. So then my first suggestion is keep the polish, keep it sealed. Secondly, and that is just, these days, what Tina and I like to do, no matter, and we have a bomb-proof countertop, but what we like to do is we've got these, I don't even know how do you describe them, babe? Not these, when I say cutting boards, I don't mean the big butcher block, thick, awkward cutting boards, but I mean those small, what are they, like fiberboard compressed cutting boards that are only like a quarter of an inch thick, and they're super, super tough. They're great for your knives. They come in every imaginable size, and the nice thing is we've got a whole stack of them right under our island counter that is real easy to just whip it out and just work on top of one of those. Cutting, working with acidic, liquids and the like. So that's what I would do. I would do temporary protection on it by just working off of a workboard. And of course, the ones I'm talking about are those nice thin ones, not the plastic. But he's going to look into it. We used them for years, and I literally do not know what they are technically called, but we're going to find out. But that's my suggestion. There's just no other way to really protect marble well without just, you could lay down and build it out if you're not going to like it. That makes sense? All right, thank you so much. Yes, sorry. All right, so we're going to get to all of those boards as we go. Let's try and squeeze one more in here. Monica. Hey, Monica, welcome home.
Hi, I have a 1950s house with a large skylight. I was so excited to light up this dark room, but it's just cold in the winter. What can I do?
Get a better skylight?
It's really, it's really nice. It's like an architectural piece, and he did a good job.
Is it dual glaze?
I think so. I'm not exactly sure.
So skylights are tricky because they are windows in the roof, and so when I advise people, okay, I love them. I'm all about them. I'm all for them. But we've got to treat them in that same way. A lot of people kind of they think, well, no, skylight, we don't treat it like a window. We put it up there, it's single glaze, doesn't have UV coatings on it, doesn't have low UV metallic coatings on the inside to buffer out a lot of infrared. And if it's not dual glazed, then it's not really doing a very good job insulating the room, and as a result, holding heat, right? So you're going to be cold during cold times and warmer than you want to be during warm times. So skylight placement and size for a room is tricky. Sometimes there's no way around it, Monica. Sometimes a room, like you said, just needs a skylight, and it's got to happen. And artistically, you want to do it. But you also realize, you know what, this is really going to kind of reduce the heating and cooling quality of this room. So maybe we add fans, maybe we bump up or zone the air conditioning and heating system so that this room gets handled independently of the rest of the system. And that would probably be, in lieu of changing out what sounds like a custom-made artistic skylight, I might suggest that you take a look now at the heating and air conditioning system. Perhaps a heating and air conditioning expert can come in and create a zone just for this room. Add a thermostatic sensor just in this room, meaning that not only a thermostat, but a sensor in that room, so that when this room, for instance, drops into the low 60s or high 50s and the rest of the house is toasty, the AC and the heating system knows that and can isolate that room and just bring the temperature back up in that room. Of course, there are simpler ways to do it, putting a space heater in the room and so on. So skylights are pretty good. I don't know what to tell you other than that. They should be purchased with the consideration that they are the best kinds of quality windows that we ever want to put in our house because of the way they're positioned. They need to be positioned carefully so that direct sunlight isn't blasting through it at times that we don't want it to happen. And we may have to, depending on how many there are, adjust the heating and cooling of the room. That is not me saying you shouldn't do them, because some rooms actually need them, and a lot of rooms benefit from them. But those things have to be taken into consideration. Monica, good luck with that. I hope that helps at least give you some perspective on it. All right, Joe. When we return, they don't make them like they used to, or do they? We'll continue this conversation as we go. Your home, the house with the Brian Barilla. By President Harris says the U.S. has determined Russia has committed crimes against humanity in Ukraine. Premier League soccer player Christian Astrid has died in prison. His body was found in the rubble of a building that collapsed in the earthquake. An investigation is underway after video shows a high school police officer in Nevada arming a student to the ground and hitting him under. We're going to take a look at some trouble on the 101 next. All right, let's talk about my solar company. My solar company. Not only the solar company that has panels on my roof, but the one that I recommend to all of our clients. And happens to be a sponsor of the show, Sunlight. Why are they so important to your solar future? Well, you're not going to hear any other solar company talking about this, but at the end of last year, the California Utility Commission changed the rates by which solar customers are credited. It's called Net Metering 3.0. People aren't happy about it because it means less money for you for your solar system. The good news is there's a grandfathering period. It lasts right up till tax day, April 14th. You can still lock in Net Metering 2.0, okay? But you have to have your solar documents filed by the April 14th deadline.
Yoshi, congratulations again after college. Now you should be like, oh, Mike, you got enough. Now you got it after college. Really? It's on Florida's Golf Coast by this week. Oh.
Sunlight will walk you through how to lock in Net Metering 2.0 by the April 14th deadline. Even if you're not ready to install the system, that's okay. Call Sunlight, get your solar documents filed. There is no time to wait. Let Sunlight help you lock in the best returns to solar power you will ever see. Start today at sunlight.com. Sunlight.com. PSLB 100 Take a look at KFI traffic at Flash. It's still blocking lanes on the 101 in Truman Hills. This is Ventura Freeway northbound at Van Nuys Boulevard. It's been here for an hour or so. It's the three right lanes are going to be blocked here. Stop and go traffic from Coldwater Canyon. It's going to be heavy and slow there for a while longer. Now we've got a small vehicle from Monrovia, eastbound at Myrtle, and through the Fifth Compton on the 91 eastbound at Alameda. Got a wreck out right, not too many delays there. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Mark Wheeler. This report is sponsored by Wendy. 2 for $6. The best deal in fast food. When you want the best deal on the best deal, choose Wendy's 2 for $6. Pick from Dave's Single, spicy chicken sandwich, 10-piece crispy nuts, or a medium strawberry lemonade. Share any two for just $6. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy. 2 for $6. This report is sponsored by Wendy. 2 for $6. The best deal in fast food.
Have more control of the value of your savings and retirement account, and you should. Diversify into gold with ROTHSCHILD. I have. For years now, the value of gold has withstood inflation, geopolitical turmoil, stock market crashes. You can own gold and silver in a tax-sheltered retirement account. ROTHSCHILD makes it easy to convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in precious metals. So here's what you do. Text the name Canvas to 989-898 and get a free info kit on gold. ROTHSCHILD has 20 years experience helping people with their retirement plans. Protect yourself with gold by texting handle KSDEL to the number 989-898. ROTHSCHILD has an A+ rating with a better business bureau, thousands of happy customers, and countless 5-star reviews. So contact ROTHSCHILD for zero obligation. Text handle to 989-898. That's handle to 989-898.
Hey, SoCal homeowners, Bob here, owner of Rough and Tough. Are you frustrated with your yard? Upset how it looks? Angry about wasting money on water and maintenance? And with water restrictions here to stay, you can say goodbye to a beautiful green yard forever. However, there's good news. You can transform your ugly yard into a beautiful, green, year-round paradise that the entire family can enjoy. And our artificial turf is USA made. Don't you deserve a stress-free paradise to enjoy at the end of a long day? And your investment can pay for itself in only 6 to 7 years. Call Rough and Tough Turf today. Receive a free estimate good for a year. Or if you decide to act now, you can take advantage of savings up to 40%. So grab your cell phone, dial pound 250, say Rough and Tough to invite us out for your free consultation. That's pound 250 and say Rough and Tough. At Rough and Tough Turf, you can expect the best.
You bad lap gagging.
Certain restrictions apply.
You bad.
Dangerously easy to steal your identity
You bad.
during tax season because so much
Lap gagging.
info is all together.
You bad lap gagging.
Personal info. Have anyone seen Social Security number?
My mind is dirty as your butt.
He's been stolen. LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo code news at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here. Science proves quality sleep is vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health. The sleep number senses your movements, automatically adjusts to keep you both effortlessly comfortable. And it's temperature so you stay cool. Do your best for yourself and those you care about most. Life-changing sleep, only from Sleep Number. It's our President's Day special. Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smartband, plus free delivery when you add adjustable dates. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Fans of the hit TV show Scandal can now revisit every episode on Unusual the Scandal Rewatch podcast, hosted by the cast members behind Quinn Perkins and Huck. So, Gladiators, grab some Gettysburger and relive Scandal from iconic PG moments. We'd be like 110 degrees in a wool coat.
Yeah.
I mean, the chafing that was going on in my pencil skirt, I deserve all the extra work. Listen to Unpacking the Toolbox, a Scandal Rewatch podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
1877 comes again. KARS comes again. 1877 comes again. Make your shit.
Car prices at an all-time high. Our donors are now getting the highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
1877 comes again. Donate your shit.
Now accepting donations on land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Guy is cheap transmission fluid.
Seriously? I feel like it's just a break.
We all know how it is. If you go to the wrong
check engine light on, you're set to for free. Restriction limitations and fees may apply. See info.com for complete details. Hi there, I'm Joel Arco. Join me this Sunday for Money. We'll talk all things personal finance and help you learn how to save, invest, and enjoy more of what matters. How to Money with Joel Marsgard. Tomorrow at noon on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Sounds like you're telling me.
KFI, Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer, at your service. Hey, thank you for joining us on the that's a double-edged sword because part of that, what that evokes is the truth, which is I wish we lived in an era in which construction
Where's my blue check
was
now?
higher, more revered, and part of it's on you, by the way, what you're willing to pay for. Okay, you get what you pay for these days, and everybody wants the best really cheap, and that just does not happen. Okay, so do they build them like they used to? In that sense, no. You can still find it though; it's still out there, and it's still available to you. If it wasn't, I wouldn't be sitting here doing this program. I would be encouraging. The other side of this coin is, and this is the plus side, they don't build them like they used to. That's a good thing. Bravo. Yeah, let's not do that. And here's a perfect example. If you live in an older home, one with a raised foundation, you might have, and likely do have, if it hasn't been replaced and redone, cast iron sewer drains, cast iron drains, not piping. And, there's the difference between pipes and drains when it comes to a home is that the pipes are water lines providing water to your house. The drains are what take wastewater away. We look underneath your home and we find old, heavy-duty cast iron pipes. Now, in terms of long-lasting, technically speaking, sure, yeah, okay, great. Yeah, they're 100 years old, and they're still there. Now, what's going on the inside of those pipes, though? That's really the reason why it's best that we don't use cast iron for drains anymore. The inside of a cast iron pipe is porous. There is porosity. Not the best thing when we're talking about trying to flush free and clear waste products and wastewater away from our home. So slime, sludge, whatever you want to call the residue that's going down the drains, and it's not just from the toilets, but it's soapy buildup, shower, and out of sinks, and so on and so forth. All of that kind of stuff, anything that wants to cling to the inside of a pipe, sits there and then begins to build up, and then that can lead to things like corrosion, clogs, and the like. So, cast iron piping, especially as it dives away from floating above the ground in your crawl space. Once it dives into the ground, now cast iron. It's cast iron, and even though it has a weatherproof coating on it, if that coating fails, now just like a cast iron skillet, you know what happens? Cast iron skillet, soap and water, and you don't oil it up again. You just put it away. Yeah, rust, iron oxide, cast iron. Iron oxide is rust. It's iron oxidizing. And so, anyway. Now, of all the things I just mentioned, though, that's not the reason, that's not even the first reason we avoid cast iron these days. We avoid it because we don't have to do lead and oakum. Now, I hope you get a kick out of this. I'm going to try and describe this to you as quickly as possible. If you did not know, old-style cast iron pipes put together with the joints sealed with a process that we call lead and oakum. Two different things. One is lead, again, lead. Oakum is a hairy kind of tube of material. It's hemp or sisal that has typically been drawn off of old ropes. In fact,
would often involve, there's a lot of lead and oakum. A lot of oakum gets used on sailing ships, wedged down in between floorboards, deck boards on a sailing ship. But a lot of hard labor in prisons would be taking old, worn-out ropes that aren't good as ropes anymore, and literally fraying the ceiling your cast iron pipes underneath your house. We will do that when we come back. The house with for Brian Gordon has been.
A motorcycle gang leader who executed 2 people in Westminster and built a dog on this follow deserves no compassion for his criminal cancer diagnosis.
In the entire 40 years he's been incarcerated, he's never acknowledged committing his crimes. He's never apologized. He's been denied parole twice in order that he is a danger to the community.
Spitzer says soft on crime state law has allowed prosecutors to argue against the release in less than 10 days. He says the guy still has ties to the gang, which remains criminally active. News brought to you by Pacific Coast Termite. A drunk driver in Santa Ana who hit an 11-year-old girl and left her with a broken head is getting sentenced. Jurors found causing injury as well as driving on a suspended license and concealing evidence. He's scheduled to be sentenced on April 21st. And old electrical vehicle batteries may provide a new resource for California's power grid and keep the lights on in the state.
A startup company in Lancaster says it's hooked up 1,300 former EV batteries to a solar energy facility and is able to store 25 megawatts of energy in a first-of-its-kind program. BTU Storage Solutions CEO Freeman Hall says even when the batteries can't keep a car charged, they can still store electricity. And says by extending an EV battery's life, resources can be saved and costs can be lowered. Hall says BTU storage technology could reduce energy storage costs by up to 40%. Amy King, KFI News.
Well, actress Courtney Cox is getting a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Cox, known for Scream and playing Monica on Friends, will be honored on February 27th. Her star will be near her Friends co-star Jennifer Aniston star. Aniston, Lisa Kudrow, also on Friends, and Laura Dern are guest speakers for the ceremony. And as taking a look at KFI traffic, we've got a crash on the 10 in Ontario.
It's the San Bernardino Freeway, the eastbound side, right at Archibald. Up to the right here, 2 vehicles, and some slight delays as you come up on it. But the good news is we had a problem through Sherman Oaks that's now cleared out. It's the 101 northbound to Van Nuys Boulevard. Still going to be heavy and slow roads, so give yourself a little room. As you head through Monrovia, you get stalled on the 210 eastbound at Myrtle. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Mark Wheeler.
It is no secret that cities add chlorine to your water, but once it gets to your house, you don't want it in your body or drying out your skin and hair. Hey, this is Dean Sharp with the solution. Source water system. Light Source filters all the water in your home, reducing the harsh taste and feel of chlorine and giving you softer skin and hair. No salt, no maintenance. Get yours today by calling 800-803-2696 or visit lightsourcewater.com. Light Source, take feel the difference.
This is podcast.
SoCal weather from KF5, partly cloudy skies, low to mid-60s at the beaches, upper 60s to low 70s in metro LA and OC, mid-60s to low 70s in the inland valleys, mid-50s to low 60s in the Antelope Valley, and mid-60s to low 70s in the Inland Empire. Temperatures cooling down in the coming week and a chance of rain also. Weekly Local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Brian Brewer.
These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps find the right people for your team faster and for free. Add your job in the purple hashtag hiring trend to your LinkedIn profile that you're hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize things like the interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates worth interviewing. It gets nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Kim. That's linkedin.com/Kim to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. The address again, linkedin.com/Kim, linkedin.com/Kim. Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your
radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Contractor license 1047-781.
Here are some homeowner headaches we fix again. One is our heating rejuvenation, where we help to prevent breakdowns by performing 6 critical adjustments for just $129. Another one is more unclogged unit drain for just $80 with a 30-foot drain station. And we're on call 24/7, 365 days a year. And our drain cleaner service is just $80. So nice, I said it twice. Get air conditioning at money. GOETTL.com. We do things the right way, not the easy way. This is Jacob and Ronnie, KFI, AM 640.
KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. You are home with Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. Hey, thanks for being on the program with us. We're going to get back to our subject for the weekend. They don't build them like they used to, but first,
It's time for another House Call with Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer.
today's house call brought to you by WDC Kitchen and Bath Center. Well, the weather, I don't know if it's entirely starting to change yet, but you know what? As far as my chickens are concerned, spring is right around the corner because they started laying their eggs again. And I think a lot of people are thinking in those terms. Even though we can still have some more rain, spring is coming, right? That means you start thinking about outdoor entertaining, you're thinking about maybe redoing the deck, or maybe putting in an outdoor kitchen. That's what I want to talk to you about, your main kitchen. So the closer the main kitchen, the less you'll have to spend on items for the outdoor kitchen. The further they are away, the more independent they become, and the more you're going to want to make them independent and have stuff and buy all their own stuff. I mean, of course, not only cooking sorts, but maybe a multiple cooking set prep area and a sink and all of those kinds of things. If you can spare duplicating things like the sink, you can save yourself, a lot, because the sink needs to drain and the drain has to be tied into other drains and so on and so forth. Especially running water lines out there too for hot and cold running water. These are all decisions that have to be made. I'm not discouraging your outdoor kitchen that's further away. I'm simply saying the closer it is to your main kitchen, the more you can rely on those features and the more you can focus your outdoor kitchen on just the cooking surfaces. And by the way, every outdoor kitchen feature and function, from sinks to refrigerators to cooktops to grills to barbecues, all of that stuff, your local WDC Kitchen and Bath Center. All right. What was I explaining from the previous segment? Lead and oakum. I'm hoping you guys will find this interesting. So, you got cast iron piping underneath your house. I'm not saying you do.
This is such a shitty system.
Older homes who raised foundation is going to be the case if it hasn't been replaced with a modern material, which we'll get to in just a moment. So, one thing that the cast iron is solid and great and lasts forever-ish. That's great. It's a whole nother thing that the inside of the cast iron pipe is very porous and it clings onto all the guck and the muck and the stuff. And they are, of all pipes, the most likely to have buildup and create a clog. Okay. But how they're put together, how they were put together back in the day, because it's cast iron. One cast iron fitting into another one. And by the way, there is no such thing as a cast iron coupler. Okay, what it is every pipe is made with a bell on one end. That's what we call the female end. It enlarges into a receiver, and then on the other end, it's just the length of pipe. That's the male end. So when we join two pieces of cast iron pipe together, we have the male end fitting into the bell. Well, it's not a tight fit. In fact, it's intentionally not a tight fit from the male end into the bell, because if it worked, there's no other way to seal it, especially back in the day, 100 years there's no caulking material that adequately seals cast iron together. This is what they used to do. They used to use a process called lead and oakum. So let me cut to the chase here. There's a gap in between the male and the female receiver of the cast iron drainage system so that molten lead, molten hot lead, gets poured down into that gap all the way around the pipe, and as a result, as it cools, it hardens, and that becomes the seal. Not the greatest of seals in the world, but it'll get the job done if it's done right. Now, a couple of questions come up for those A students out there. Number one, you're like, wait a second, what if the isn't perfectly centered in the female pipe so that there isn't an even gap all the way around? The lead could all collect on one side and still have a leak on the other side. You're exactly right. Also, somebody thought, well, wait, it's not a tight fit. You pour molten lead down there isn't just going to leak out the bottom of the fitting into the pipe itself and cause more problems. Second observation, also 100% accurate. So, how do we resolve this? Well, here's where oakum comes into play. Oakum is this roll of very kind of hair-like material made out of hemp and or sisal from old ropes and what have you. The best way to describe what oakum looks like, if you haven't seen a roll of oakum, and why would you, it kind of looks like a dreadlock. When somebody does their hair into a dreadlock, just kind of a long tube of tangled up fibers. Now, what happens is you put the male into the female receiver, the bell of the pipe, and then with a chisel, a special, very, very thin chisel, you take a length of oakum, this dreadlock, as it were, and run it around all the outside edge, and you shove it down inside. And it does those two things that we were worried about. Number one, it forces and positions the male pipe to be centered in the female bell so that there's an even space all the way around it on all sides, because the oakum is essentially holding it right in the center. And the second thing is it's creating a dam way down at the bottom of the fitting for the molten lead, so that the molten lead doesn't pass through it into the pipe itself. Once the oakum has been shoved down in there, then you take the molten lead and you top it off. You fill up the entire fitting. Once the molten lead hardens, then you take another chisel, the same chisel that you actually shoved the oakum in with, and you tap it along just to kind of force the lead down in there, squeeze it in really nice. Back in the day, when a building inspector would come and inspect these cast iron lines, there's literally no way for them to know if it was done right or not, because all this whole process is hidden. All they would be looking for is chisel marks on the top of the lead ring. If they saw chisel marks, they kind of shrugged their shoulders and said, yeah, well, it looks like you probably did it the right way, even though they're just looking at the very, very last part of the process and the rest is hidden. So all of that, by the way, fun fact, the word plumbing. If you're like, wow, plumbers using lead, well, the word plumbing, plumb, comes from the Latin plumbum, which is the Latin word for lead. So yeah, plumbing actually originated back in the Roman Empire when all pipes were made out of lead. A plumb bob is a lead weight at the end of the string, and plumbers are people who traditionally, 100 years plus ago, used to work a lot with lead. Today, not at all, so much at all. Today, we're using plastics and composites, and the new pipe for running your drain lines, depending on what part of the country you live in, is either PVC, we all know about that, or ABS. Out here in Southern California, it's ABS. ABS stands for acrylonitrile of butadiene styrene. So, yeah, who cares? ABS for short. It's a black pipe, kind of a plastic pipe. It's easy to cut, super lightweight. You glue it together without any primer. The glue welds the pipe fitting one to the other. The chances of ABS are so minute. It's sort of brainless to put them together. You can cut them with a hacksaw. They are somewhat flexible, although they're rigid enough, and they're super strong. And that is why we use them for drains, vents, and plumbing pipes. examples for you
Yes.
as we continue. Your home with Dean Sharp, the house whisperer Brian Baruna.
Why?
The police are trying to find two guys in a car who got away after a chase across LA and Orange counties. Two other guys in that car were arrested. A person has been killed in Alaska when a building that had a gym inside it collapsed with more than 10 people inside the building. And a sheikh from Qatar has made an offer to buy the Manchester United soccer team from its owners, the Glazer family. We're going to take a look at some trouble on the 210 next. Hey, SoCal homeowners, Bob here, owner of Rough and Tough Turf. Are you frustrated with your yard? Upset how it looks? Angry about wasting money on water and maintenance? And with water restrictions here to stay, you can say goodbye to a beautiful green yard forever. However, there's good news. You can transform your ugly yard into a beautiful, green, year-round paradise that the entire family can enjoy. And our artificial turf is USA made. Don't you deserve a stress-free paradise to enjoy at the end of a long day? Call Rough and Tough Turf today. Receive a free estimate good for a year, or if you decide to act now, you can take advantage of savings up to 40%. So grab your cell phone, dial pound 250, say Rough and Tough to invite us out for your free consultation. That's pound 250 and say Rough and Tough. At Rough and Tough Turf, you can expect the best
This
and
thing
save money
sucks.
too. Certain restrictions apply.
Delphi Power Services is the leading
What
supplier
sucks
of
about
emergency power supplies and backup generators for Southern California. Your business deserves more uptime and fewer power issues. With Delphi's help, your power will keep running smoothly. Go to DelphiPower.com. That's DUTHIpower.com.
Look at weather. They have 5 warmer this weekend, cooling in the coming week, and a chance of rain from Tuesday through Friday. This report brought to you by Delphi Power Services. And taking a look at KFI traffic, we've got a stall in the 210 in Monrovia.
It's conked out vehicle on the eastbound
You don't have your heavy shirt.
freeway right at Myrtle Avenue. It's going to be
Why? Because these is good. Come right on my shirt.
You have a crash now just popping up. See if you tell us about a problem on the 10th, the 7th freeway, the eastbound side at Archibald Avenue. A couple of cars there off to the side, and also a stalled truck here, semi on the side. There's a new hall pass before team. Looks like a back tire possibly on fire on top of that, so watch for it. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Mark Wheeler.
This report is sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. Variable challenge. May 18th, Yamava Theater. Tickets on sale now at YamavaTheater.com or the casino.com.
If your business has 5 or more employees and managed to survive COVID, you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of up to $26,000 per employee. That's real money. It's not a loan either. It's a refund of your taxes. The trick is getting your hands. Complicated, lots of red tape. So let me suggest going to getrefunds.com. Their team of tax attorneys are experts in this little-known payroll tax refund program, and they've already returned $1 billion to businesses. And they can probably help you too. No charge up front. They share a percentage of the cash that they get for you. And businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP money and nonprofits. Even if you've had increases in sales, you can qualify. To find out if your business does qualify, go to getrefunds.com, click on the Qualify Me button, answer a few questions, they start to work. Getrefunds.com. That's getrefunds.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-858-2550 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-858-2550. That's 800-858-2550. What do you have to lose? Call 800-858-2550. Again, 800-858-2550.
For over 35 years, we at Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, have built our firm with the word more in mind. We have more than 800 lawyers and more offices nationwide photooftheday.com for an office near you.
No one has this.
Damn right.
From the music you love to the podcast you can't live without. And only the iHeartRadio app has it all for free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk. KFI, Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer at your service.
Welcome home.
Hey, thanks for being on the program with us today. Sharing your time with us. It is always an honor and a privilege to come into your home or your car or your earbuds or wherever you are. Hope you're out getting started with your day and getting things rolling. If not, please enjoy another warm beverage. All right, just wrapping up here for today, but not wrapping up the topic as a whole because we are doing 2 days, today and tomorrow, as we often do, part 1 and part 2, on this subject of they don't build them like they used to. We're talking about things, how your house used to get built. Sometimes we learn things. Somebody asked me, so what do you mean by that, learning the process? Just kind of understanding where things are today as a result. Sometimes we're at where we are because things have changed so much and we've rejected previous ways of building, not unlike what I was just talking about in the last segment, using cast iron drain pipes underneath the house instead of today's modern plastic pipes, which are far better performance in every imaginable way. Other times, it just has to do with kind of the locations of things and understanding how things used to be done. It was a Thursday night, I was talking to Conway, and right after our bit, Mike Crozier said, hey, laundry, Dean was talking about laundry shoots that he said, but, my wife and I are remodeling our house and planning on making changes. And we're going to put the laundry room upstairs next to the bedroom. And he and Conway were both like, yeah, what? How did that ever happen? That laundry rooms ended up way down at the bottom of the house. They figured out one reason was because, back in the day, everybody was scared to death that the washing machine would break and flood, and you don't want that flood happening up on the second floor. And that's still very much a concern, which is why if you're going to do that, you probably should put it in its own pan with its own drain up there, protecting sensitive things. But there's another reason laundry and laundry sheets came into being, and that's simply because, all American home architecture started on the East Coast, to the Mississippi. And back there, even today, most houses have basements. And what do you do in the basement? They weren't first and foremost designed to be hangout places and man caves. That came later. Basements are where you put stuff, practical utilitarian stuff. Started out as root cellars, then became the place where the gravity furnace was going to sit down there. Now the HVAC equipment sits down there, the boiler sits down there, or the water heater, whatever it is that is running the hot water and the radiant heat in the house. And also, it's a logical place to shove the laundry room. So yeah, laundry chutes and the idea of laundry being downstairs, not upstairs. Today, is that something that's a necessity or a concern? No, we've overcome that. There's 10 different ways that we can securely put laundry facilities on any floor in the house, but the tradition of having laundry down there is a vestigial organ. It's a tail. It's a little bit of a something left. It's an appendix left over from an era in which it made no sense to put laundry any other place, right? So you understand the evolution of homes, you understand your home a little bit better. And some of us still have, like I was just saying, if you live in a century-old house, or a house built even in the 1940s or earlier, there's a really good chance you've got cast iron pipe running. In fact, if you live in a house built in the 80s with slabs, there's a chance you've got cast iron pipe underneath in the ground where you can't get to them. So let's not go there. But the point is, a lot of folks all over the country right now have got cast iron
all kinds of things.
And apologize if I didn't hear this. Did you ever let that color?
Oh, I did not.
Woo! Got it. Time.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, our caller with the sensitive marble countertops. Those cutting boards, the official name, I'm never going to forget this now. They're just composite fiber cutting boards. That's its official category. Lots of people make them. Every culinary shop in the universe carries them. They're only a quarter inch thick, and if they're lightweight, they're easy to handle. They're super easy to clean, and they are made up of basically phenol resins and wood fibers, and they're super tough. And the best way to protect them. So composite cutting boards, that's what you look for. Okay. So anyway, the lead and open story, right? The last thing I'm going to throw at you today, staying in the plumbing category, right? Plumbing, plumbum, lead, right? From the Latin lead. People are like, people just tuned in are like, why is he saying that? No. I was just saying in the previous break that the word plumber actually comes from the Latin word lead. That's how much lead was a factor in plumbing down through the ages until just the last half century or so. When it comes to actually water lines, there are 3 categories now of water lines that run through a home. 2 of which I'm not thrilled with, or 1 I'm very happy. I'm not going to say galvanized pipe is the oldest. It's not. Copper lines are still the oldest water lines running through most houses. And copper, a good quality copper line with the right water conditions, meaning that it's not being sitting down in the soil where it's being etched, or too much city chlorine in the water that's etching the copper, or too many hard minerals of a certain formulation. Copper is still a strong, solid, good quality way to run water through a house. Is it the best? In my opinion, no. Not by far, not anymore. But copper, if I find copper lines in your house, I'm not going to tell you to tear them out. No way. Not unless they're already starting to pitch and leak. Okay? If you've got galvanized water lines in your house, I am sorry. Because galvanized, very much like kind of cast iron, okay? Very porous on the inside. Number 1, they collect buildup of scale and residue of older cast iron and galvanized lines. Doesn't matter how big the pipe, it could be a 3/4 inch pipe. If it's old enough and you've got hard water, you've got spots in that pipe that are less than probably a 1/4 inch diameter as far as water passing through it. And if you've got pressure problems or flow problems with your plumbing galvanized pipe, well, that's probably exactly why. It's probably not the pressure coming in from the city. It's your corroded, built up, scaled up galvanized pipe. So what's the new modern thing? Well, you've heard me talk about it before. EX. And EX piping, for a number of reasons. 1, nothing clings to it. 2, it's self-insulating. 3, it comes in rolls, and X can be assembled even by DIYers these days with the right efficiency of the very, very best plumbing fittings in the world. And X can be assembled with minimal equipment, from sink to water heater, or from sink to source. So we're going to talk about this a little bit more tomorrow, along with a whirlwind tour of do they make them like they used to. For those of you who have listened this morning, thanks for listening. Handle off the lawn, the week stuff next. And for the rest of you, get out there, get into this beautiful day, and get busy building yourself a beautiful life. We will continue. We'll see you tomorrow.
You know, streaming words over the next 10 you don't send every guy to hell. You send a smaller team to check things out. This spring or something. Everybody's I just figured out which one makes the most sense. That's what I was looking at first before I ever seen.
Me that the full report before the U.S.
This was just something.
That's
very curious. Even though his ship was many miles from the earth when it was found, his fridge was a sign of a river. Comment about where the coast to the discovered fluid was one of the great rivers of the world. The Congo is the second largest river in the world, the second largest river by discharge. The military does things in the it's like great rivers. For Coe, the discovery of such a big river was gratifying. Rivers like this often supported by the paper.